My name's Ed Bunker. I've been here for 3 years now. I started in the end of 2015 and so I'm intending to finish in the spring of 2019 of my project. So my project is basically titled The Hypogene Evolution of the Spence Porphyry Copper Deposit, which is in northern Chile. And essentially my role is to go in and do a kind of overhaul of the geology of the deposit, focusing mainly on the primary stage, the magmatic stage of mineralization. And so through that I've been studying a lot of the igneous rocks. I've been classifying them. I've been able to go on 2 field seasons to Spence, which is in Chile, which were both fantastic. So the first time I went was in January to February of 2016, and that was for the initial field season. I was going with my colleague Simon Dahlström, and we spent 1 month there. During that time, I think there was 10 days at Spence, which was a really exciting and interesting experience. So I got to spend a lot of time studying the drill core, which gives you a really unique insight into how into most igneous rocks really. And then I did a follow-up field season which I just completed recently, which was in February of 2018. So there was quite a large gap in between, but that meant that when I returned to study Spence again, I really had a lot more insight and ideas which I could follow up on, so that was a really effective field season as well. So on my first field trip to Spence, we took a huge amount of samples. Basically, we needed to take these samples in order to do some detailed study on them to better understand the deposit, because it can be quite overwhelming to arrive at a mine, to spend 10 days there, and then based on that make all of your hypotheses and decisions. So we took a lot of samples. I think it was around about 150 drill core pieces. So we did various things with these samples. One of the key aims was to do geochronology, so I selected a small subset of representative lithologies, which we've then carried through scission geochronology by uranium lead, which is applied to zircons. And through this we've got a really detailed picture of the igneous magmatic evolution of the deposit. But then with the remaining set, and also with that subset, we've been doing petrographical work where we've been studying the igneous textures of these rocks in order to try and divide them into more tightly constrained igneous units. Apart from my work at Spence, I've been able to go on a few other field trips. I was very lucky to get sponsorship from the SEG to go on one of the SEG student field trips, and that was an awesome experience. We went to British Columbia. I've been to various countries on conferences, including Switzerland and China, which was super exciting. Yeah, so for me I think the collaboration with BHP has been absolutely essential to the success of the project. For one thing, obviously BHP owns Spence Mine, so they're the only people who could have given me the kind of unprecedented access that we had to the rock samples and also all of the extra kind of insights and information that they've been able to share with us. But being able to speak to the geologists at Spence has been also invaluable to my project, because there's people based in Spence who've been working there for over 20 years, so they've seen everything that I could possibly find at Spence. But then also it gives it helps me when I speak to geologists such as the ones at BHP to get a kind of more broad overview of what kind of an economic geologist thinks like, and that helps me to then bring that into my research to make it more impactful for economic geologists. So currently I'm keeping both avenues open to me. I think that I'd be prepared to be both an academic or an economic geologist. I think that I definitely want to stay within the subject of economic geology. That's what really fascinates me. Obviously, my PhD has definitely prepared me very well for an academic life, like in the experience of preparing to write publications and just generally carrying out my research. But going to conferences like the SEG conference, and speaking to economic geologists has really given me a broader insight into how economic geologists think. Also, I've been able to visit a lot of different mines and understand how they work. And generally, looking back, I think that I've developed my perspective of porphyry coppers in such a huge way that I've completely transformed as an economic geologist. So I think that really I'm ready to do either aspect.